I told my boss that he should embrace his mistakes, but then he hugged me. What's going on, YouTube? The anniversary Jubilee event starts literally tomorrow, and it's the biggest ESO event when it comes to gold making, when it comes to getting rare items, when it comes to event tickets. Only sad thing is there's no double alliance points, but there's still tons of goodness to go over, and this event will always hold a special place in my heart because it is the first video that I ever made a few years ago that actually got over 10,000 views and was the first video of mine to become monetized. So this is going to be a big event. As always, it goes from April 3rd all the way until April 22nd. During that time period, you'll be able to eat the cake to get your event tickets, but you don't actually need to eat it to get the XP buff. Sauce has made the XP buffs 100% passive. So throughout April 3rd to April 22nd, you will have a full double XP. And like most event, there are reward boxes. Now, these reward boxes might be different than they were in previous years. So tomorrow, after the event has officially started, I'm going to do my best rotational areas for box farming because there might be cooldowns. Now, sometimes these events have cooldowns, sometimes they don't. More than likely, though, any daily quest you do as the listed ones, crafting writs, delve, world bosses, incursion, boss quest, daily alliance, battleground quest, daily dungeon, trial quest, as well as daily heist sacrament quests, those don't have a 5 to 8 minute cooldown. However, I suspect that some of these ones below here might have that. Killing and looting any final dungeon boss, killing and looting any trial boss, killing and looting any world boss, any of them, any final arena boss, killing the Thoth Recomedium, and then completing any incursion. So that includes Dark Angers, Abyssal Geysers, Bastion Mimics, blah, 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 blah. As well, you'll also be able to actually get Rewards of the Worthy, which is pretty interesting because I don't think that this has been attached to Rewards of the Worthy previously. Meaning if you have a little bit of PvP fun, you can still get some boxes as well as do some repeatable daily alliance type stuff. You'll also have a chance to get it through Tales of Tribute rewards with a higher chance based on the challenge of the opponent or number of opponents faced during a daily, which is kind of interesting too. I'm kind of curious how they ended up landing on that there, especially if you get one for Rewards of the Worthy. But notably too, why do you want to get these? Because notably you can get some crafting materials. Now obviously that's a bit, okay. Yeah, but you get mundane runes, heartwood, keep an eye out for those. But here's the big line: motif chapter, furnishing recipe, or style item. The first two things can be absolutely hot bangers because notably, usually you have to do some really unique things to get motif pages. You have to farm, dungeons to get dungeon ones. You have to farm overland quests to get some other ones. And being able to just randomly get some really annoying and difficult ones just by opening a reward box is pretty profitable because it means that you could get something that is normally very annoying to get. Furnishing recipes is also the exact same concept. Style items are very finicky. Some of them are used in some high tier furnishings, so keep an eye out for those as well. But then we're going to have our brand new outfit style, which actually looks pretty amazing. You'll be able to see it here in a minute. Then we have the fragment for the Jubilee steed, another banger, some items to get. 1 to 10 transmute crystals, the desecrated grave soil, the worm cult motif style. And then you can see this is actually how this Bad Mama Jamma looks. And you can see here too, this is not where all of this ends. You can actually get some other things. We've talked about these recently because they were able to be gotten at the end of the year, but we'll talk about them again. These are special cosmetics. The True Flame Sword comes from fishing, but if you have the fisherman achievements like Master Angler, you have the best odds. And if you have the Dominion Covenant or Pack Fisherman achievements, you have slightly reduced odds from having the maximum achievement, but better than base odds. Dolmen's, similar concept, gives you the Staff of Worms replica. World bosses in Vardenfell can actually give you 2 rare styles, that being the Barbarous Helmet replica or the Sonar replica, which looks pretty dope. I'll show you guys here a picture in a second. And then the Abyssal Geysers in Somerset have a chance to drop the Ulvar staff. Here they all are. Now, these are some pretty rare items, but it seems like they're going to be attached to some reoccurring ESO events, so you don't need to stress about getting these if you don't have time to get all of them. It seems like they're going to be attached to the Jubilee event going forward, meaning that they are exclusive items. You can only get them yearly, but if you miss out on them, you don't need to panic. You'll also be able to use your event tickets for some very specific things. You're going to be able to get quite a few event tickets during this event. So just some quick things to point out. The brand new style actually looks pretty dope. So hopefully that one actually has some decent resale value. Probably not something that you want to actually purchase though with your event tickets. Yesteryear is going to be really interesting because I'll be honest, some of this is worth freaking nothing. But some of these are actually worth a good chunk of money. So I'm actually going to be taking some time to do the math on this to see if it's also possible to manipulate your odds like the mid-year mayhem bags where you're really trying to get some ones that are worth, you know, a couple million gold. So that way you're saving yourself quite a bit of money. The problem is a lot of these are worth not a lot. So that's going to be a pretty big math calculation, but don't worry, I'll get back to you on it. I lean towards if you have a bunch of event tickets and you want to gamble on them, because realistically, the only other thing that you can get is going to be this new style as well as the Wisp, which, I mean, yeah, looks pretty neat, but it's not anything that I would say, ooh, you know, you got to run out and go grab that bad boy. So is it worth gambling on these? I mean, you can get like 60 event tickets. So I personally think that it is just because that's a lot of event tickets. And you can also be working towards getting the Jubilee Steed mount fragments. You can also get some other things as well, too, if you would like, such as the cake devourer stuff from getting the different cakes and things to put inside your home. Or if you do want, you can get the little pickup thing, you know, just, you know, picks up little things off the ground for you. Feel free to get that as well. It's important to also note, too, that inside those reward boxes, you'll also be able to get some new Jubilee items. I don't know how well these will sell, but I do know that there's definitely a market for like the Undaunted versions when they added a couple Undaunted items as new furnishings. So keep an eye out on these furnishings. If you get them, they might actually have some good resale value. And I didn't see them really mention it in their article. So keep an eye out for these bad boys as well. But obviously now, what should you be farming? So you log in, you're in Mordhold because that's basically like the target, you know, of ESO. Where do you go? What do you do? What are your options? My favorite option is dragon slaying. Unfortunately, these dragons are just chilling around eating cat food. You can see that because there's no swords going through them. Nobody's killing them. Reason for that is dragons have, you know, a lot of health, like 12 million health. So going out there and soloing them is not within most people's repertoire. So during the actual event, you can actually kill these people because you're getting a reward box for doing so. And you're getting Dragon Blood Bile Reum. Check out the video below to make sure you're getting your Dragon Reum because it is something you have to do to unlock it. So check out that information below. But notably, during this event is going to be one of the only times that people are actively farming dragons, meaning that it's a good time to stock up on those resources. And they also sell for really good money. And dragons just naturally give you lots of treasures that you can sell too. So it's like a triple whammy. Reward boxes, Blood Bile Reum, and then quick sell items. Boom. Next up is my favorite, and that's the Bankarai World Boss Triangle. Now, this is like the Bermuda Triangle, but the only thing disappearing inside of it are world bosses because these three bad boys are massacred. And this one will depend on how the cooldown looks because if there is a 5-minute to 8-minute cooldown, this becomes a little bit worse because you can almost just kind of pinball between two world bosses or really even just stay at one world boss without having to actually focus on going to, you know, back and forth. And then at that point, there's significantly easier world bosses to kill. You could just go to like a starter zone, kill that world boss. But if there are no box cooldowns, this as well as the Craglorn Portals area becomes fantastic. I do personally prefer this area, but we'll have to definitely wait and see which areas are available and how the cooldowns will look because there's nothing ahead of time that says, hey, it's going to be 5 minutes, 8 minutes, or none at all. So you'll see from me a video tomorrow where I break down after doing some testing. But until then, keep an eye out for this. Also, obviously, do your daily crafting writs, super fast turn in, and daily quest turn-ins are not going to be affected by the actual cooldown if there is one for world bosses and other types of bosses. Quests will be unaffected, making doing your daily writs really good. You can also pre-do your writs and then turn them in once the event starts. I think it's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is usually when they start these. I'm not sure if daylight savings time will make it 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Obviously, make sure you turn it in once the event starts if you want to pre-do them tonight across all your characters. And you'll see a lot of wonderful people here inside of Skingrad doing these missions. Well, why is that? It's because Update 45, little hooligans that made that bad boy, they injected a whole bunch of new furnishing items into the daily quest rewards, meaning that if you farm this, you actually have a chance to get some really rare furnishings. Well, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. You can now also do rewards coffers on top of rolling for rare furnishings. So you can see why this would be a good method, and works like daily crafting, Rich. You could do all these bad boys and then turn them in tomorrow once the event starts. Just make sure you know, make sure you do it when it actually starts, because people are getting confused whether it starts at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and their equivalent, because America does daylight savings times and not everybody else does. So obviously make sure you turn it in on time to be able to get some banger furnishing items. This also extends to if you want to do Miramore incursions. If you're like Jake, dragons, schmagons, you can farm Miramore incursions. The nice thing about that is they're great for gold quick sell items, and they also have new furnishings injected into them as well. So fantastic farm for you to consider. Another good option too is just some good old straight PvP. I mean, you're going to be getting it every time you get a Rewards of the Worthy. You can match that with also doing either if you want to try to do some of the dailies inside of Cyrodiil, get some bonus AP, and you're doing a daily quest, so double whammy there. And a lot of people, they really enjoyed, you know, the previous PvP Vengeance test, so a lot of people are itching for some more PvP. Greyhost is definitely the premier PvP map, but don't feel like you can't go to another place like Blackreach, or it's a little more calmed down as well. But either or, you're going to be able to get tons of AP wherever you go. Always remember too that you can fix walls, doors, buff other allies, you know, heal them, and you'll also be contributing to getting AP, as well as getting AP directly for those actions. For those of you who need me to push them kicking and screaming into PvP, you could do those things too. You can also do your daily battlegrounds as well as any battlegrounds as well. The battlegrounds are going to build alliance points, which is also really good for you, so I would consider doing those as well. But if you have any more suggestions, please put them below, because I'll be working on 2 additional videos. I don't know why I did 2 like this versus this, or like, I don't know, ignore me. Put them in the comments below, because I'm going to be testing different farming methods tomorrow. I didn't want to lead you astray by telling you some definitive best ones today, because Sauce has this tendency to just be like, hey guys, there's now a cooldown. So now the best routes become the worst routes, and the worst routes now become the best routes, because now instead of, you know, farming the Bankrai trio, you could farm any world boss, and then at that point just farm the little, you know, baby ones that are in like Glenumbra that have like 10 health. Why stress about going to a harder zone with harder world bosses? So that's why we need to wait and see how the cooldowns exactly will work. But again, if you want to prepare for tomorrow, I would have some quests ready to turn in. Whether it's Westweld daily quests, whether it's daily crafting writs, whether it's anything, have it ready to turn in tomorrow, and you will be good to go. And then we can do some math and figure out what is the best place to go. If there is no cooldown, it's probably going to be Bankrai or Craglorn. If there is a cooldown, it's probably going to be doing daily quests, if I'm being honest with you, because you can get reward boxes for killing, you know, if you say you do the Westwell dailies, kill a world boss, you got a box for that. Now you get another box for turning it in, and then you also have a chance to get a 1,000,000+ rare furnishing. So it's going to be pretty hard to top that combination of things. And the nice thing too is if you're on a baby character, everybody's going to be killing those bosses anyhow. So don't feel like you're left out, because everybody is going to be farming those. Or go farm some dragons if you don't have, you know, the Westweld upgrade for Gold Road. Go farm there, or go to Bankrai, Craglorn, or just go sit and farm the, you know, Cupcake, you know, you know, world boss there in Glenumbra. Kill him over and over again every 5 to 8 minutes, and you'll be hunky-dory as well. So thank you guys so much again for watching. As always, we're doing our 3 giveaway drawings. We did our last month's hidden word on a video. There'll be another one this month, so keep an eye out for that. Second thing is we're less than 50 subs away from 29K, a huge milestone. You're less than 50 subs away, so please subscribe. And the third thing is just leave a like and a comment on the video. If you don't have time to do both, one or the other will get you entered. The more times you do that, the more likely it is you are to be highlighted in the community spotlight, which is how I pull the winners. So thank you guys one last time. You'll definitely catch me tomorrow, because I love this event, and I'll catch you there. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jakeclips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.